shall we?
Join the afternoon stretch now at 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
O'clock here in the Music City, so you know what time it is. Time for the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Hope everybody's in their storm shelter as the storm is approaching here in Nashville. I see the wind whipping outside, and then it's going to get cold. It was 85 degrees, and then it's going to be like in the 50s tomorrow. So that's what this storm is bringing you. Whenever you get it really hot, and then all of a sudden it's going to be really cold the next day, that means there's a lot of wind movement. But they're saying there's straight line winds. So, 40 miles, 50 miles an hour straight line winds. We got a lot of wind lately here in Music City. That's going on out there. So if you're not off the road yet, try to hurry up and get to your destination, And that's always a beautiful time for us to say that. You can listen to us in your car, obviously, 560 AM, 95.9 FM, 107.9 in Smyrna. That's always a great option. Also on your phone, WNSR Nashville Sports Radio app. But when you get in to your home, it doesn't have to stop there. If you have an Alexa, you can just say, Alexa, play WNSR Radio, and then we'll pop right up. Or maybe you have like a Google Assistant. So you say, okay, Google, play WNSR Radio. What's the other ones? I can't do the other ones because we have two iPhones in here.
Hey, Siri.
Yeah, no, whoa, wait, no. They can go off. It can go off any second. But you can do that one as well.
Mine did go off.
Yours did go off? There you go. So you just have to you got to be aware. But download that WNSR app. That's the easiest way to find us. Got a lot to get into today. Later on in the show, we're going to have Matthew Rudy, Golf Digest senior writer. He's going to be talking Masters with us and all the drama that's going on. That's going to be at 4:25. Then at 5:25, Pete Nakos. He is with On3 NIL. We're going to be talking some NIL information. If you're looking to learn a little bit, understand it. Because look, I'll be honest, I'm like a lot of other people. When it comes to the NIL, I like to pretend that I know exactly what's going on, but I do not know what's exactly going on.
It's like salary cap.
Exactly.
It's like a foreign language to me.
You have people that say they know what the salary cap is, they understand it, they get it, but then when something happens, you're like, this doesn't make any sense. They had $23 left of salary cap. How did they just sign a guy to $50 million?
Yeah.
How does that work? You can play smart, but there's people that are actually smart. We're going to have Pete Nakos on at 5:25 to learn a little bit about it because there was a huge NIL jump. We talked a little bit about it yesterday with the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark feud that happened, which has continued now, by the way. This has gone a step further now in that saga. Did you see what came out today?
No, definitely not. Obviously an NIL situation.
It's not NIL so much, but it's about so Angel Reese went on the I Am Athlete podcast.
Okay.
I was going to play some of the audio, but there's just too much cursing. Couldn't get it all out in time. Whatever.
Not allowed.
They basically going as far to talk about the situation with Jill Biden. Jill and Joe Biden. It's too close. It's really annoying to talk about because you got to really clarify. Jill Biden. And that situation of Jill Biden saying that LSU and Iowa should both come to the White House for sportsmanship.
No.
Well, Angel Reese came out and said on the I Am Athlete podcast that apparently Jill Biden was going to come visit the team before the game, was going to visit LSU in the locker room before the game. And not just Angel Reese, but all of LSU passed on it because Joe Biden put out his bracket and didn't have LSU getting out of the first round.
Wow.
And felt disrespected. So they were like, nah. And then she was saying that she doesn't want to go to the White House now. She said, we'd rather just go see the Obamas.
Okay.
That's what she came out and said. Terrific. I mean, look, she is doing it so right. And I don't even know if she's doing it on purpose, but it's working because she's just continuing the attention and growing more followers and making more NIL dollars.
I've seen her everywhere on Twitter.
Yeah, she's everywhere.
Yeah.
She's everywhere right now. She's absolutely everywhere. So, that's been a fun little thing to follow. We're definitely going to talk with Pete about that because all these little things, there's just so many little things that NIL really have, such a real hold on.
Popularity.
It's popularity. It's social media. It's so funny because really, Bronny James, he's supposedly valued the number one. He's not the best basketball player out there.
Nope.
Not even close.
You could be bad, but if you have a couple million followers on TikTok, you're getting paid.
Top 10, one of the guys that we talked about yesterday. I didn't know this guy's name. I didn't know his story, but he's a collegiate basketball player that has one arm. And he's top 10 in the On3 NIL evaluations. That's a story that you could see, and that guy's profiting off that of his story. And that's what we're talking about, is profiting off stories. There's so many different stories that you can profit off of. Angel Reese really kind of made hers. Whether it was intentionally made or not, it was made all the same, and she's making much more money because of it. Already had a deal with I believe it was like McDonald's. Now she has one with Raising Cane's. They're just getting them left and right now because she's the hot topic right now. People want to talk to her. People want to see her. People want to follow her. So I feel like we've scratched the surface with how the NIL is truly going. And I'll tell you this, genie's out of the bottle, toothpaste is out of the bottle. There's no putting it back. NIL's staying. If you hate NIL, suck it up. Suck it up. I saw Clark Lee. I think he went on Paul Feinbaum. And I typically agree with Clark Lee on a lot of things that he says. We love having him on here. He talks about this being one of his favorite shows, time of the week, whenever we get him on. He went on Paul Feinbaum and said, NIL is not going to be a forefront of our mind. We want to be a team-focused team, that the team comes first before the money. We definitely want to help guys, I'm paraphrasing, guys, earn their money, but we're not going to make that a priority. Well, you're getting left in the dust.
Yeah.
You're going to get left in the dust. And maybe you'll have a few fans that'll sit there and rah-rah behind you and say, yeah, care about the team more than NIL. You're missing out. You're beating a different drum that you should not be right now. You should be trying to gain as much NIL dollars as possible in your collective, or working to get deals done to get players in, and just find out their social media followings. That's where Lane Kiffin has such an ability that he can really just snake his way through that, because he has that social media experience, and he can see it, and he can communicate and directly talk to these guys, that it could be an easy transition for him to help recruit. Man, it's crazy. There's so much with the NIL stuff. I have found it so fascinating, taking such deep dives with it, and I still feel like I don't understand it fully.
Yeah. It's funny about the Clark Lee, because a lot of these kids are going to certain schools because of how much they're gonna get paid. Obviously, you have certain kids that are gonna go and see, like, I like the facilities, do I like the coaching staff, do I like the opportunity I have in the future here? I mean, that's obviously a big consideration, but money, that's big. It's
the biggest thing. It doesn't matter how many championship rings you have anymore.
Oh no.
It doesn't matter the prestige of whatever the schools are. And I know there's people that don't like that thought, and I understand it. Frankly, from the athletic side, I completely understand when you talk about, success on the field should be the most paramount, but frankly, it's not. It's not. NIL is the real paramount. It's going to be how many people follow you. That's what the NCAA's created in the NIL. And I get they're trying to, pass legislation and things like that to get this more under structure. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you can, because you let the monster out of the cage. And there's no putting the monster back in the cage now.
Oh yeah, these brands got a grip.
Yes.
On it. So
much so. So, and look, they got a lot of money, and they want to spend it with, who they feel is appropriate. So, I don't know. It's so interesting to me. So interesting to me. Had Atlanta Braves baseball earlier today here on the station. Braves get the win 5-2 over the St. Louis Cardinals.
Sweet.
Cardinals fans they're devastated right now. They are absolutely devastated, because I saw some Cardinals fans talking about how this is the worst season there ever already. They can tell the season's over with. They're done. They're already checked out. They're turning into Mets fans, frankly.
They were a dark horse team, I feel like, before the season started.
And then the season started.
And then, yeah, just absolute chaos.
And the Braves are looking really, really good.
Yeah, they're going to go back to the World Series.
Ronald Acuna, he said, I think it was a couple days ago or whenever it was earlier this week, he came out and talked about how I'm fully healthy now. Haven't been able to play baseball in a long time, fully healthy, not having that nagging, and it's showing. He is a monster.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's a monster.
The Braves are, they're just really good.
They are, man. That's crazy. They play right here. Be able to hear them on Nashville Sports Radio. 615-844-5600. If you're wanting to get in, phone lines are open for you today. Always open as we go till 6 o'clock tonight till we head off to some Memphis Grizzlies basketball at 6:30. Eric Hasseltine on the call. Tip off at 7 o'clock tonight.
Getting interesting in the NBA.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're excited.
I love this. It's the last week of the regular season. I mean, it's getting down to the wire. Last night, Lakers. All they had to do, they needed to win and they needed the Warriors to lose for the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers did climb up to that 6 seed spot after their win, and then Golden State, after what looked like a pretty bad first half, came back and ended up winning, moved back into the 6th seed. Lakers are sitting in a play-in spot. If you look on the NBA power rankings right now for the Western Conference, you will see that no teams right now are locked in to a play-in berth. Those are still all available. There's just quite a race going on in the West that I don't think we'll ever see for a long time. The East is almost locked in right now. I think there's 3 other teams that still need a place. But with 3 regular season games left, I believe, for most of these teams, it's going to get really, really interesting, and it is going to come down to the final game.
Yeah, aren't Clippers and Lakers tonight? I believe they're tonight.
Yeah.
Because it's basically for lead in LA. Obviously, they're the exact same record going through, and it would be for that 6th spot.
Yeah. So right now it looks like the Clippers are at the 6th seed, Lakers are at the 7th, and they do have a 41-38 record each of them. Whoever wins that game moves up into a playoff spot. Is it locked in? That I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it is.
No,
it also just depends on the rest of the schedule.
What's crazy is how at the All-Star break, at the trade deadline, how people, I still said, I was like, Lakers are a dark horse. They're a dark horse to get into this playoffs. If they get into the playoffs, they should be one of the scariest teams in the playoffs. And they're starting to show that a little bit. LeBron's starting to cook up a little bit. And they got rid of Russell Westbrook. And it's worked out for Russell Westbrook and the Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers are definitely better without him just because, I just think Russell Westbrook turned the ball over way too much and was kind of costing them games a lot of the time. I don't believe in the Lakers whatsoever. I don't. After watching the game last night, which I did, the Lakers played their hardest basketball, and they're playing their hardest basketball every single game as of right now, and they're playing the Jazz. The Utah's, I'm sorry, they're not good. Kelly Olynyk was destroying the Lakers. I've never seen anything like that. I
didn't turn the game on until you texted the group chat last night about it, and then I started watching it.
Kelly Olynyk,
good finish,
unbelievable, great finish. Yeah, it was fun to watch. After that, I put on the Golden State game just to see where teams ended up finishing out. But I just don't see it with the Lakers. I think that they do have LeBron, and playoff LeBron is obviously just a different breed. He's one of probably the best clutch basketball player of all time. So you never really know what you're going to see in the playoffs coming from the Lakers, but I just don't believe them. I think the entire Western Conference is mediocre. I think people are gassing the West up right now just because the race is so fun to watch. But all these teams that are in this race right now, they're really just not that good. That's my personal opinion.
I saw a couple hot take radio people out there dog talking your Celtics.
Yeah, it's really exhausting. Especially after the game last night, man. God. That's the one thing that upset me. So, the Celtics are 3-1 against Philly this year in the regular season. That was the final one. Philly looked absolutely awful, giving the Celtics every single opportunity to win that game last night for whatever reason. I just knew for a fact that certain networks are going to come out and just completely destroy the Celtics.
Well, Jaylen Brown's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone. Kendrick Perkins came out and said Jaylen Brown wants out.
Kendrick Perkins, if you're listening to this, I hate you.
There goes Kendrick Perkins. He was a long-time loyal listener. Now he's gone.
Number one person I hate, Kendrick Perkins. Oh, my God, you're the worst. But, I get it. What you're doing is working. It's creating headlines, and it's getting me angry.
Devlin doesn't like Kendrick Perkins so much that this didn't go public.
No.
Because luckily he sends it to his friends first who can help him. But he sent in our group chat. There was a week ago or two?
It was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, that Kendrick Perkins. There was a fake tweet going around from NBA Cantrell, not Central. NBA Cantrell.
Didn't even read it.
And it said Kendrick Perkins has been fired from ESPN. And you would have thought Devlin was having a tea party on his grave.
I did. I went and lit off fireworks. It was one of the better days of my life until I found out it was fake.
Yeah, and then we immediately were like, hey, that's not a real tweet.
But yeah, the talks about Jaylen Brown leaving the Celtics, first of all, nobody knows. I don't know. I don't text the guy. I don't know what goes on in his head. But I can tell you one thing, that him and Jason Tatum together are the best duo in the league, and the Celtics are going to be willing to offer him a supermax contract. It's going to happen.
And he's talked about he wants to stay with Tatum, too.
He did. He literally said it. He came out and said it. He was like, this is like a destiny team. Like, he wants to be with Jason Tatum. He also said he wants to be somewhere where he's appreciated and treated right. And do I know exactly how Boston is treating him? No, I don't. But I can tell you one thing. If they give him a supermax contract, I assure you he's going to be just fine with that.
All right, we need to run to a break. When we come back, that is, we're going to be talking with senior writer for Golf Digest, Matthew Rudy. We're going to talk a little bit about the Masters, but also more or less not so much the competition on the green, more it is in the air. I mean, the air going on right now around LIV, LIV, which we were talking about this before, LIV. Is it LIV? I was watching the par 3 competition, and they kept saying LIV golf.
So for those of you who don't know, it is LIV because that is the Roman numeral for 54. People just say LIV. It's
I can't believe people don't know that.
If you say LIV, you're weird. Just say LIV.
LIV.
PGA plays 72 hole rounds. LIV does 54. Hence LIV, Roman numeral 54.
There you go. See, how do you not know that? But we're going to talk about that because there's a lot of openness about it. There's a lot coming out about it right now. Lots to talk about with that side when we return here on the afternoon stretch.
When you're away from home and you want down-home cooking, Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel is the answer. Excellent, fresh, and local, just like Grandma used to make. Start your day with a Music City omelet and some prime rib hash, or a cast iron waffle with Nashville hot chicken. For those wanting variety, hit the biggest breakfast buffet in Music City. And of course, the world-famous Biscuit Bar. Start your day with the fresh, local, and down-home cooking of Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too.
The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Staunch Titans fan, season ticket holder, Tim Kelly as OC. Your reaction?
Oh, I hate that so much. I hate that so. Well, all right. Some more tight end bubble screens, right? This sucks, man. Yeah, this is live reaction, dude. I had no idea. Yeah, that's trash, man. I hate it.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Welcome to Smashville, home of the biggest hits in hockey and the loudest parties on Broadway. Join us at Bridgestone Arena Tuesday, April 6th for College Night with Belmont University as your Nashville Predators take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Purchase your College Night tickets today at NashvillePredators.com/tickets to receive a limited edition Preds and Belmont co-branded hat. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. Let's go, Preds!
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too.
The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
The show that makes you thankful for Braves games. The Afternoon Stretch with Zach and Bruno and Ray.
The Afternoon Stretch. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studios. Now a tremendous time to talk some golf with senior writer of Golf Digest, Matthew Rudy. And that Matthew's 2 T's in Matthew. Don't you forget it. Matthew, thanks so much for joining us, buddy.
2 T's, but they're not together.
How have you been? We haven't talked to you in a little bit. Golf is obviously now back in the in the atmosphere now. Masters coming up. Are you starting to feel it here a little bit?
You know, I am starting to feel it because a big part of my beat is money and writing about the tens of millions of dollars that players are getting to go to live, or the tens of millions of dollars that the PGA Tour is giving star players. It's kept me busy for the last 6 months for sure, but getting to majors where people are actually playing golf and trying to win for history is something more interesting to talk about as a, just getting more to the core of the sport as opposed to talking about dollars. So I'm happy this week is here.
It's funny because you're talking about win for history. It feels like this Masters, because of the 16, 18 live participants in it, if one of them win, that will be a huge feather in the cap for Greg Norman and live, but it also would be a stunning blow to a lot of the people with the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I think it depends. I think it depends on which player that is. There have definitely been players that have left on better terms than others. I don't know that if Patrick Reed wins the Masters, that's really a blow to the PGA Tour. I think they probably would have said that it would be fine for the LIV to take Patrick Reed if he wanted to go. But I think if Phil Mickelson won or if Bryson DeChambeau won, that would be different. So number one, there are terrific players that are on LIV, and if Dustin Johnson wins the Masters, or Brooks Koepka won last week, and he's feeling better physically, if his body is 100% and his confidence is back where it was when he was picking off 2 majors a year, would it be surprising if someone like that, Cam Smith is a defending British Open champion. So there definitely are players in the LIV stable that have the skill to do this. But you also have to remember too, with the PGA Tour, the last 6 weeks or so with the elevated events and the stars that have won tournaments and the battles going down the stretch with the players at the top of the sport, the PGA Tour has had a pretty good beginning of the season too. So I think all of this, selfishly, I'm sure you're in the same boat as I am, when it comes to sports, whether you're talking about the NCAA Women's Championship game or you're talking about the Masters, when there's friction and people getting after each other and there's some creative tension out on the course, that's much more fun than a vanilla tournament or even a single guy dominating all the time. So I like to see a competitive tournament with lots of different storylines. I mean, if Rory won and could complete the career Grand Slam, that'd be amazing. If Phil Mickelson could somehow be in contention, that would be an amazing story. If Tiger can stay upright for 4 days, that would be an amazing story. There's a lot of potential here for cool stuff, and there's potential for it to be a dreary 5-day, rain fest where we get another Zach Johnson victory. I'm a little bit worried about that too.
You hit on something there that it's a storyline in itself now after a couple comments that came out yesterday during the press conferences. Tiger Woods doesn't know how many more Masters he has in him. What is your expectation for the future of this? Because I mean, already you look at the par 3 competition. There's always going to be tons of people out there for the Masters, no matter what. But it did feel like there was a little extra energy in this one, especially in the practice rounds, just to watch Tiger, because you really don't know if maybe this is the last one, or maybe there's 2 more, or whatever. Where are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think you hit it right there. Much more than other times. I mean, ever since he's had some of these major surgeries, the back fusion and the surgeries after this terrible car accident, he's definitely expressed the idea that he knows that, he only has limited bullets to shoot and in his competitive career. That isn't new, but the feeling, the tone behind his words this year is really, I think, was really heavier, where he can see the end of it, and I think it's mostly because it has nothing to do with his golf swing. It has to do with acknowledging the reality that it's difficult for him to walk 4 rounds, especially at a place like Augusta National that's very hilly. He was actually, talking about how much he's looking forward to playing the Champions Tour because they can ride carts. And if you'd asked him that question 10 years ago, he probably would have said, if I have to ride a cart, I'm just not going to play. And so all those kinds of coded comments are leading toward a conclusion that, like you said, we could be on, the fingers of one hand counting how many of these left, we're going to see Tiger play, because I really don't think we're going to see him as a kind of a ceremonial golfer who plays all through his 50s just to miss the cut and wave at people on Friday afternoon.
Talking with Matthew Rudy. Follow him on Twitter at Rudy Ryder. You mentioned too earlier about the mystique of this one, because there is the quote unquote tension, just for a lack of a better term, between the tours. This one, it does seem fun how we're going to see it. How do you feel the Masters have been handling it so far? Because I know the story that's come out obviously was Greg Norman wasn't invited, and that was an on-purpose decision to not invite him. How's your thoughts on how the Masters handled this situation?
I think to a large extent, every player comes to this week, and when you think about a major championship, they exhale a lot about that stuff, because the rules are so strict, and Augusta National has such control over the environment and what people can do and can't do and where they can go and how many badges everybody gets, all that kind of stuff. The players love it because it takes so much of that decision-making out of their hands. You don't have to talk about whether Greg Norman was there or not, because it wasn't anybody's judgment call except for this one little committee. And you don't have to have any judgment calls about where your coach can go or can't go, or you don't have to do any of those things, because they lay the path right out there in front of you about what you can do and you can't. And so I think in this kind of crazy atmosphere where we're arguing about LIV and we're arguing about the PGA Tour, I think it's great to go to a venue where the people running the event are not the PGA Tour and they're not LIV, and they're their own separate entity. They have their own rules. They do things their own way, and it's almost like letting the parents drive for a little while, and and the kids just have to sit in the back and be quiet. And hopefully that's going to, and I think you saw it today in the par 3 contest. All those players, whether they were LIV or PGA Tour, had their kids, and they were enjoying the moment, as golfers. And I think really that's what people want to see, and they want to see those players, duke it out for the next 4 days, and then we can get on the show again, or we can write in Golf Digest about what that means, but we can have that conversation Monday. Let's enjoy the golf for a few days.
Something else that's come out too that USGA have been looking at Fred Ridley for the National Chamber for Augusta came out today and said that he would be in favor of the rollback of a golf ball. What are your thoughts on that, on shortening the length of the golf ball by 15, was it about 15 yards is what they're kind of saying?
Well, I guess I understand it from a real estate perspective. I mean, Augusta National decided that they wanted to lengthen the course, so they had the funds to be able to buy one of the holes from Augusta Country Club next door and stretch out their golf course. I don't know how many other places have the financial wherewithal to do that. What I think gets lost in this whole concept of the tournament ball is that it just accentuates the advantage that longer hitters have. You know, if the ball gets dialed back and it's harder for shorter hitters to hit it far, it's still the same advantage. So let's frame it as a real estate question and say that we don't want courses like St. Andrews to be obsolete, and I guess that's okay. And I guess it's okay that we're just talking about tour players. I mean, the average person, I've never met in my 25 years of doing this, I've never met an amateur player who came up to me and said, I used to play golf, but I quit because it was too easy. So, this idea that the ball goes too far for 99% of the players that play golf is silly. So, if somebody wants to make a rule that says in this tournament everybody has to play this particular ball, I suppose that's going to be okay.
It's interesting to put the parallel to like Major League Baseball, who have gone the other side of the coin and, frankly, have juiced the balls to try to get more home runs because the deep ball, as opposed to golf, they're looking for, I guess it really does enhance more of the skill, the more fine tuning of the game. It's just weird that you could see those two parallels going the opposite way.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're turning the dials on what skills they want to see. I think if you go and watch a player like Rory McIlroy swing 125 miles an hour and keep control of a ball that's flying 330 yards in the air, that's a tremendous amount of skill. I would argue that going to watch the U.S. Open, where the fairways are super narrow and you're forcing everybody to hit the same 240-yard shot off the tee, I mean, I think you're taking skills away from players and you're not rewarding the most comprehensive skill set. I do think that there should be an advantage for being a bigger, more powerful player. And just like that's true in tennis and just like that's true in baseball, just like that's true in the NFL. I mean, I think having power and being able to hit the ball far, that's a skill. I think what the USGA is trying to do is say, well, we want to make sure everybody's hitting every different club into these different greens, and we want to make sure that there's still value in short game and putting. I mean, I guess I get that too, but just taking power away as one particular tool and saying, all right, play with all the rest of these, it doesn't seem like a very sophisticated answer to the question. The U.S. Open was at Marion when Justin Rose won, and the configuration of that golf course, contrary to what the USGA usually does, was fabulous. The players universally loved it. It was a fair test, and that golf course is not tremendously long. I think they proved that if you're more sophisticated about how you set up golf courses, and Augusta National is a great example of this. We love watching this tournament and watching the back nine on Sunday because it demands lots of different shots, but it also gives you chances to bomb it and make birdies. And I just don't think fans week in and week out want to watch players shoot two over par and come kind of dragging themselves in on the 17th and 18th hole and surviving by making bogey to win the tournament. I think birdies are exciting, low scores are exciting, and there needs to be a balance that rewards players for taking some risk and bunting it and hitting it out of the rough, to me, is not exciting golf.
Yeah, it's one of the local stories here for Nashville and local connections, I guess, with the Masters is Gordon Sargent from Vanderbilt, 19-year-old kid. He's kind of showing you the progression of the long ball because there's a lot of people out there. He was with Rory in some of the practice rounds and things like that, and there's a wide consensus that he's probably the long ball hitter right now in that tournament, and he's 19 years old. So the athlete is changing, just like in every other sport. Football players today are faster than football players 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, and it's night and day difference 20 years ago. So the growth of the athlete's going to change, and it's going to get stronger. I guess this is just their way of preparing for that.
Yeah, my grandfather played for Michigan State, and 1942, and he was a nose tackle, 6'1", 215 pounds. I mean, if he lined up against J.J. Watt or any of the stars, defensive linemen who are in the NFL today, I mean, it would be crazy what would happen. So, but also, I think progression in sports is a good thing, and everything evolves. Everything we do, I'm talking to you on an iPhone that if somebody had told me this existed 20 years ago, I wouldn't have believed them. So to stop progress, I think doesn't make any sense. But I also can see the value of a quote unquote cathedral like Augusta National, to stay relevant and to continue to be a cathedral for the game. You do have to contain the ballpark at some point. I mean, does that mean at Fenway Park, for example, are you going to get to the point where you got to move the fences or I think that's why baseball decided that not to use aluminum bats. They wanted to keep the ball speed in a certain place. And like I said, my fundamental issue with the USGA is I think for the most part it's a lot of amateurs getting together deciding what the professionals should be doing. I think there should be a more sophisticated way to figure out how to solve some of these problems than just basically lopping off the top of the mountain.
So here's the $1 million question. Who's going to be putting on the green jacket come Sunday?
The forecast is really epically bad. I mean, this is looking like one of those times when we're going to finish on Monday, and I think that rewards players that can not even so much deal with the rain jackets and the wet grips and sloshing around in poor weather. Although that's a little part of it. It's more, I think, being patient enough to potentially have your rounds disrupted, and you got to come back on Saturday morning to finish round 2. All the things that can make the pressure ratchet up at a major. I think you have to add some of those things in beyond just what a player's current form is. And I mean, that leads me to a player like Matt Fitzpatrick, the U.S. Open champion from last year, who is just a meticulous preparer, and the worse the conditions get, the more he thrives. Someone like Justin Rose is another one to look at, a guy who's had major championship success, but it's a little bit in the rearview mirror, is now having somewhat of a renaissance in how he's playing. Jason Day is another example. I think if you were looking at some players that were not kind of in that first tier of Rory, John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, those would be ones I'd look at.
Matthew Rudy has been our guest senior writer for Golf Digest. You can follow him on Twitter at Rudy Ryder and check out his website as well, rudyryder.com. Matthew, thank you so much, my man. We're going to be getting you on a whole lot more here.
You bet. Anytime. Good
stuff there from Matthew Rudy. Masters, I didn't know what the forecast. I hadn't looked at the forecast. Not a fan of that. Understand it. I understand that's something to worry about. He broke some news to me there. I had not looked at the forecast for it, and it may not be bright, sunny skies that we're used to, and the birds chirping. I wonder if it's just pouring rain, are they still going to have the fake bird music, bird sounds going on in the background that they play on the broadcast?
I don't think so.
That would be cool, though. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be stupid, but it'd be cool.
Wouldn't be able to buy it.
Birds just singing. Rain
like
is
it's beautiful out. Yeah.
Birds singing. 615-844-5600. If you want to get in, we want to talk to you here on the Afternoon Stretch.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/JOY.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? Look for the signs. Chances are they live in a home and have a car. They use money and enjoy having more of it. They probably drink lots of lemonade. Lemonade. And they've probably said something suspicious like, "I'm bundling with Geico," or "Stop spying on me with those binoculars." If so, you may want to ask them how easy it was to bundle with Geico. Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the new 2023 Aerojet woods and irons from Cobra Golf. The new Aerojet woods are designed with a unique aerodynamic shape that delivers faster clubhead speeds for longer drives. And the new Aerojet irons are made with hot face technology, so every strike delivers more distance. Elevate your game by swinging into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Cobra woods and irons today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the TSSAA and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Reality is starting to set in. The Titans are in a bad way. We've been saying this, and people thought it was just crazy. Derrick Henry and the future, and Titans do no wrong, and Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. No, the Tennessee Titans have problems. They have holes. They have money issues, and they can't fix it overnight, and they won't fix it this season.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
The show that makes the average person say, "Hey, I can do that." The afternoon stretch.
You may be able to do it. Call in 615-844-5600. That's how you'll find out if you can do it. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Just got off an interview with Matthew Rudy, Golf Digest, which terrific. A lot of insight in there of what's going on in the game of golf, especially with the Masters coming up tomorrow. But we haven't talked about that talking point so much. And by the way, if you want to go listen to that, maybe you just missed it. WNSR.com, click the afternoon stretch, you'll be able to hear it right there. The changing the length of the golf ball, weakening it essentially. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. And it was kind of tough for me to figure out if Matthew was a fan of it or not. It seems like he's not a fan of it, but he understood it, why they were going that approach. There's no doubt that, especially guys like Gordon Sargent, who, let's be frank, right now is a blossoming star in the game of golf. But athletes get stronger. They're getting faster across the board. You've seen the NFL make some different changes with helmets and especially with most recently with the halo caps, things like that, because these athletes are just so fast and there's a danger in that sport for their actual body that these golf courses that were made, especially talking about like St. Andrews or someone like that, were made, however many years ago when the athlete was not the athlete of today. It kind of makes sense that you do have to shorten it. I'm still not a fan of it, though.
No, I absolutely hate it. Golf is one of the few sports, might be the only sport, where me and you can go out and get the same equipment as these professional players that are playing. The same stuff that they're using at the Masters, we can go buy. Why? I just don't like the fact that they're going to try to make it more difficult for these players and just these players that are on tour. Like, that's it. It's just going to be way different. So, like, let's say you're coming up and you finally make it to the tour, and then immediately everything, it changes, right? I mean, I just don't really see how that improves the game of golf. Yeah, of course people are going to get better. That's what's happened over the last decades of golf.
Yeah.
You just adapt and you keep moving forward.
Well, and it's like the professional long ball hitters who are typically not that good at golf. They're good at
hitting the ball far.
There's more to it, but those guys, you got like guys like Kyle Berkshire, who what is he? He's putting out there like 450 in certain spots. Like it's wild how far they're hitting. I think didn't DeChambeau hit like 400 or something?
Yeah, he's one of the further. Yeah.
And so I mean, it's not going to be out of the realm of possibility in maybe not 5 to 10 years, but in 20 to 30 years, you're going to have guys who are touching past 500 that are averaging 400 on tour. Actually as a competitor, that's not something that's going to be so crazy because one, the athlete's getting stronger every single year. Especially in the modern years, the athlete has jumped significantly compared to what the athletes have been. We talk about 4.3, in the 40-yard dash in the NFL. That seemed 10 years ago, that was almost untouchable unless you had to select, the Chris Johnsons of the world that were out there and able to do that kind of stuff, or the Deion Sanders. Now it's almost a necessity where your guy's running a 4.3 whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, he's fast, but that's not the top end speed anymore. We're looking for the John Rosses to be touching the 4.2s and things like that. It's all the same. So, and then on top of that, the equipment is getting better every single year that they are going to be able to. That it's so good that they can actually scale it back now is what they're trying to do with the golf ball.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, just get better. Like, if you want to compete with these guys, you got to get better at golf. It's just how it is. Obviously, there's God-given talent out there. Gordon Sargent's 19 years old, hitting the ball 350. By the time he's 24, it's going to be 450 or something stupid. I don't know. But you get what I'm saying. Just get better.
Yeah, he's a long kid. Seeing him on the practice rounds with Rory and all that, he's a long, thick kid. Is what he is. You can look at his forearms and just see he's got it in there that he's able to just put some stank on the ball.
I just don't like the idea that the PGA is going to have, a different ball strictly for the PGA and the tour players, because you've got people that are using one ball their entire life and they go to the PGA Tour, and then I don't know how much it would change it. I don't know if it'll be drastic.
Yeah,
or
is it like pitch clock in MLB right now?
Right.
Is that really affecting the game that much?
It's just making it go faster.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. I just think golf should just evolve and keep players just keep getting better. Just let the final score just go down more. That's just the way I see it.
It's interesting. It's a very interesting thought about it. 615-844-5600. If you want to come on, we want to talk to you. Phone lines open. Before we go to the break, though, we'll be at Play It Again Sports Brentwood tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be out there live from 4 to 6. Come on out. You got a chance to win a gift card or a disc golf backpack valued at $80. You come out there. Disc golf sales all across the store, Brentwood and Hendersonville. You're giving a 10% discount on all disc golf. And I know a lot of people are getting into disc golf. That is a flourishing sport. If you want to try it, or maybe you're looking to add to your bag, maybe you're add to your disc collection, whatever you got, go check them out. Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville. And once again, we'll be out there doing a giveaway tomorrow at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood, 1701 Mallory Lane. That's in Brentwood, Tennessee. We want to see you out there 4 to 6 p.m. here on the Afternoon Stretch.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
Or,
yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
Or it may be even subtler, like,
speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Hey Nashville, start your day the right way with Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel. Bongo Java is Nashville's oldest local coffee company. Get your day started with a freshly baked muffin and wash it down with a hot cup of dark roast or hair of the dog blend. With free Wi-Fi, you can get some work done while enjoying a toasted breakfast sandwich. Beat the traffic, treat yourself at Bongo Java Cafe, located in the lobby of the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown Music City.
The Jim Rome Show.
I get a lot of vacation. I understand that. However, I don't take a lot of sick days. These things are not one and the same. That was not like I worked 8 straight days or I worked Super Bowl Sunday. I think I'll give myself a day off. I earned it. Hey, and by the way, I could because I have those days. I pride myself in not taking sick days. I hate that. We usually grind through it. But honestly, it was the right thing. In that case, it was the right thing.
The Jim Rome Show. Weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville's Sports Radio.
Call in now to the afternoon stretch, 615-844-5600, and be the most talented person on the show.
The afternoon stretch. Final moments of the first hour. Got a second hour coming up, though. If you want to get involved, we want to talk to you. 615-844-5600. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Looks like the storm kind of moved through. Rained. You know, what are you going to do? They rained. Devlin was showing me this graphic for all of our video viewers out there. You can see it on Nash Sports Radio, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, however you watch it. Go ahead and put it up there, Devlin. We have, so there's this odds, the outright odds at Augusta for Tiger Woods over the years. So starting all the way back to 1996. He started out at plus 6,500. Now, this is outright winner to win, right? Like to come out and win. And then goes 1997 from 6,500 to plus 800. That's a huge, huge drop off.
Unreal.
To then plus 700, plus 700, plus 200, plus 150, plus 200, and then plus 150, plus 350, plus 400. Then you get to 2006 where he's plus 200, and then 2007 coming in as a heavy favorite, minus 125. The only time that he is a favorite.
The only time anybody's ever been a favorite. Nope. I mean, nobody should be a favorite. Scotty Scheffler right now, by the way, is probably the best golfer aside from Rory. They're both plus 750. Yeah. Nobody should ever be above plus 500 to win the Masters. For you to be a favorite at minus 125 to win a green jacket is completely absurd. That's insane.
Plus 130 in 08, then it goes plus 220, plus 550, plus 900, plus 450, plus 350, and then goes up to 2019, which, I mean, I think a lot of people would love to be on this one, plus 1,200 in 2019. Then plus 2,500, plus 5,000, and now this year plus 5,000 again.
He should have been plus 5,000 in 2019.
Yeah, that is interesting.
The fact that he was only plus 1,200 is astonishing still.
That is an interesting little bit. Good find on that, Devlin. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who to, you know. I told you who my dark horse was. I put it out there. Brooks Koepka, plus 4,400. You know, $2 to win you 88. I like that. Just putting a little couple units on it, just right there. That's my dark horse.
I gotta go Rory. I hate to say it. The more I've thought about it, the more
yesterday you were out.
It seems like it's destiny.
We'll see if he's able to do it. First hour's in the books. Got a second hour coming up. I want you to jump in. 615-844-5600.
ABC News, I'm Andy Field. A rising number of dead as severe weather strikes the Midwest. At least 5 killed near St. Louis. Robin Miller lives outside the hard-hit town of Glen Allen.
If I had electricity, it would be one thing, but of course our power's out, so I can't really do a whole lot till the electricity comes back on.
Those storms stretch from Texas to Michigan and points east. Former President Trump facing 34 felony charges for falsifying business records. Today on social media, he thanked the court officers and staff on duty during yesterday's arraignment. But last night, he railed against the Manhattan DA and judge in the case, prompting this response from White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
I'm not going to speak to the case specifically, but that is something that we definitely condemn.
The founder of Cash App has been stabbed to death in San Francisco. 43-year-old Bob Lee also worked at major tech companies, including Google. He founded the cryptocurrency company Mobile Coin. This is ABC News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
WNSR.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
The 2023 season of Atlanta Braves baseball is on, and this squad is fired up to make a run at a 6th straight division crown.
High fly, deep to left, forget about it for Austin Riley. A blast to left.
Catch the 2023 Atlanta Braves right here on Nashville's home for Braves baseball. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Okay, it's happening. It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
Let's take some calls from the public, shall we?
Join the afternoon stretch now at 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
Second hour of the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. No Bruno Reagan still, but we are getting closer. We are getting closer to Bruno Reagan returning. Talked to him earlier today, actually. It was a weird request that came through. We'll see if it turns into something. There's your teaser.
All right.
There you go. We're in the studio here, obviously, today. There's storming outside. No fun. We have the Angels and Mariners game on currently. Shohei Ohtani he's on the bump and through 6 innings, 110 pitches.
Not bad.
He's out there doing it though. I don't know how many strikeouts. I haven't seen what he's got today. I know I watched him strike out somebody, so it's at least 1K out there.
Yeah, allowed 1 run. 10 pitches.
2-1 is that score for anybody out there. Atlanta Braves earlier today getting the win, getting the series sweep over the Redbirds in St. Louis. Had that here on Nashville Sports Radio. We were talking yesterday about this, and the numbers have came out now. So now we have gratifying numbers to understand what exactly happened in the national championship where the Huskies won 76-59 over a team that was just happy to be there, frankly. And the people watching this one agreed. Nobody cared. Still high, right? They averaged 14.69 million viewers on CBS. It is the lowest watched national championship in the history of the viewers.
No surprise.
The last one to get that low was Villanova beating Michigan in 2018, 15.99. That was the previous.
I'm surprised that one was that low.
Yeah. UConn had 2004. In 2004, they won over Georgia Tech. That averaged 17.09. That was the lowest on CBS until last night, or 2 nights ago, whenever that was. Not the best numbers. And then you have the opposite side of all this too, where the women, that was the most viewed. So you go from 1 to 2. There was a storyline that we liked with the women's. There was zero storyline with the UConn Huskies winning their national championship. Zero. That was the lowest one watched. What did I say? 14.69 million, with the highest ever being watched for the women's at 9.9 million.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, like we were talking about it yesterday. I don't think this comes to any surprise whatsoever. Nobody really cared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just like the NCAA football national championship. Nobody cared. I'm pretty sure those ratings were very bad as well.
The men's tournament averaged 9.55 million. That was down from last year.
Really?
Like 7%.
From the start?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The entire tournament was down viewership-wise, which you would have to think would be because of some of the... I would have actually argued that probably the tournament as a whole would have been more viewed.
Yeah.
Because then you were wanting to see what was going on, with Princeton or FDU or, all these different ones. But no, it was down. But so it's down from last year's 7%, but it was up 4% from 2021.
College basketball is overrated. I say that as an NBA fan who their viewership is substantially lower.
Yeah. Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's more, right? This was the crescendo of the season for that, so they're going to get more viewers that way. But I'm not shocked though. But still a lot of people watch the national championship in the grand scheme of things. Once again, you're comparing it from the two, but an overall history on CBS, that was the lowest that it had been. I'm surprised it was that high.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point.
I'm surprised that it was that high. You could have easily seen. I don't know, the numbers, the way they find these two, they shake out. They're really strange, but I could have seen that being much lower than that just because there was zero storyline going in.
No,
there was nothing. There was nothing fun. It wasn't even two teams that matched up well for like a fun type of basketball game. There was no, styles make fights. There was no styles here that were clashing that was going to be good.
The storyline was that UConn was going to destroy San Diego State in the championship game. That was what everybody was saying, and it was just true. And when you go into a game knowing good and well that one team's going to destroy another, what's the point in watching?
Exactly.
Watch something else.
That's what I'm saying. I just thought maybe less people were going to watch that.
I watched baseball over the game.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
The par 3 contest, there was a golfer that had 5 hole-in-ones.
What?
Yeah. He had 5 hole-in-ones. Sorry. No, this was on the teams. My apologies. My apologies. So Seamus Power and Tom Hoge had all collective in their group had 5 hole-in-ones. Seamus Powers had 2 in this one, and they won the par 3 contest.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what it was. I read it completely wrong. I was like, are you kidding me? They really wrote it like he had 5 though. But no, they didn't. I saw Bubba Watson put one in. That was nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he said too that was his first one that he's had on the Masters, that he had never had those on the Masters playing in Augusta, and obviously he's won it. But yeah, he had it bounced once and then it dunked in. I mean, that's the most impressive way to do it. If you're going to do it, that's the way you do it right there. I will say this too, being a expecting father now, I was talking to you about this before the show. The little cute kid stuff, it never really got to me. Seeing the little cute kids all dressed up in their caddy gear with their little back, their last name on their back and everything. Got me. That was cute.
Pretty cool.
That was really cute. No, don't act like you cared.
There was one time where I think it was Justin Thomas was about to tee, and he's literally just about to swing the golf club, and then some little kid comes running out in front of him, and then it stopped it. It was hilarious. Oof. But it's just fun to watch all this stuff today. All the kids out there.
I think it was Tony Finau. He had like all of his children. He's got like a lot of children. They had his son. His son was gonna hit on one of the holes, and he sculled it, went to the water, and they were like, the reporter walked up to him and was like, "Was it nerves that got to you?" And he just went, "No." Just like a 12-year-old kid. Just no. Just really messed that one up.
I think Jack Nicklaus. His grandson was out there. And he hit a hole-in-one, I believe.
Yeah, what was that like? It was like 2 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, was that 2 years ago?
2 or 3, maybe?
They were playing it today like it happened just now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like a famous moment because it was Jack Nicklaus's grandson.
Nicklaus, man.
Jack Nicklaus, that guy. Talking golf around Bruno is just the absolute worth. Even though I think he's starting to become a bit of a golf fan, I do actually I think he's wanting to play. Like, as he's sitting there and a lot of people are in the sports industry, get into golf and things like that. I'm noticing him being more interactive with golf talk.
Jack Nicklaus.
Oh gosh, it never gets old.
Well, it's kind of hard not to with the trend of live golf coming in, right? I mean, I think that was when that started, or when Bruno had an interest, was when live golf came out.
Yeah,
and just the just the hero versus villain aspect of it now, because there really wasn't that part of golf before. There wasn't this rivalry that was being shown in any of these tournaments. So it's fun watching these two battle it out in majors.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and it's something that needs to continue.
And it's going to be a story of Dustin Johnson's top 10 going into Sunday or something like that. You're one of these guys that are in LIV that are top 10 going into Sunday. That is what I'm most excited about, is having one or two in there.
Stupid move of the day. Tennessee Titans put out their numbers, the numbers of their incoming players that they signed over free agency. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman coming from the Tennessee Titans, who is the one number that you don't want?
77?
That would be up there, but no.
I have no idea.
71, Dennis Daly.
Oh, yeah.
Andre Dillard is going to be 71. Talk about
bad luck
coming in, and I mean, pick any other. There's got to be another one out there. You could be any number you want, and he picks that. I'm assuming he picked it.
Yeah.
That's not a good look. That's not good. I get it. It's a number. Some people say, oh, it doesn't matter. It's just a number.
I'm not superstitious, but
little stitious.
I'm a little stitious.
I'm a little stitious right now about it, Yeah, you would think, move on from it. Titans also now have number 0. They have their number 0.
Has anybody taken that?
Yep. Sean Murphy-Bunting, the cornerback.
Okay. Yeah,
he's going to be wearing number 0. How weird is it seeing a cornerback wearing number 0?
I don't know. I think it's more of a trend for like receivers or like skill position players.
Mm-hmm.
Or like maybe a linebacker or something like that. That'd be cool. I think Micah Parsons wanted to do number 0.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to see. Cornerback's going to be different, but I mean, people are going to pick up that number as time goes on.
Yeah, I was very shocked. I don't like it. I mean, I get the whole number thing. I don't like it, though. It messed with my head. Like I said, I always bring up the Sky Moore number 24 at wide receiver. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It hurts my head every time I see him running the route instead of playing the route.
That was like Ty Montgomery when he was like number 88 as a running back for the.
Yeah.
I think it was the Jets or the Bears. One of the. I have no idea.
It was Green Bay.
Was it Green Bay?
Yeah, he was there with Green Bay.
That was close. But yeah, that was super weird to see. So I mean, like, I think Zeke wants to go back to 15, or that's been a trend potentially. Just gonna be weird.
Eric DaCosta, this story has been making its way around because we got a little downtime now till the draft, so news hasn't really started sparking up. It'll happen. You'll get more of it. But the Ravens general manager had some questions answered. He wouldn't answer anything about Lamar Jackson. But during their pre-draft news conference, he said that it is possible that the Ravens select a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, I've seen the Ravens are what they have to open their mind to getting a quarterback in the first round if they're not going to work anything out with Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know their depth chart with quarterbacks. Is Huntley still there? I don't think so.
Isn't he? I believe he is.
But I don't think they're going to roll with him as their starting quarterback. So I mean,
may not be. I'm not sure. They have the number 22 pick, so they're Derrick Henrying the draft.
Maybe a little Hendon Hooker action there.
See, that's right in the Hendon Hooker sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
That's everybody has him going 20 to like 25.
I didn't even think he'd be a first round pick.
You don't think so?
I didn't think he was coming out of college now. As the season ended, I've heard nothing but good things from Hendon Hooker so far, up until the draft. I mean,
he's been the opposite of Will Levis all the way through.
Elaborate.
He's played well. He had the injury, so his draft stock went down. Because if he doesn't have the ACL, he's flirting with one of the, where we're talking about Anthony Richardson and Will Levis.
Yeah.
He's there. That's where he's at after the year that he had with Tennessee.
Age doesn't help.
The age doesn't help, but I still think teams can look past that for what they would get with that guy. The injury on top of the age is something you can really question now. But he was, like you said, a lot of people had him back in the second, maybe even falling deeper than that in the draft. Will Levis at one point was being talked about as a first overall pick.
Yeah.
And then has slowly fall backward as Hendon Hooker has slowly creeped up. They're really getting to like a middle point where some people can believe that there's a world where Will Levis falls to like 14.
Wow.
I don't think it happens.
No, I don't think that happens either. I think he's going to be a top.
It's an interesting
pick.
question if that happens though, and the Tennessee Titans are sitting there and they stayed at 11, and Will Levis is coming up, and you're like, what do you do? Do you try to trade back? try to get one of these teams like the Bucks or, one of these teams that want to scoot up a little bit in the NFL draft to try to get some picks back. What are the Bucks at? Bucks are like 19, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you do that.
Depends on what they're
that.
offering, but I mean, if Will Levis is falling back to 11, what are they seeing? What are the teams above the Titans seeing?
Now we're doing the Bo Callahan thing, right?
I mean,
it's like what do you know?
Yeah, that's what worries me about it. But I mean, I feel like if he's there at 11, Titans are going to take him. Because as of right now, it's the betting odds for the Titans are right now. Number one is the offensive line, just general offensive line.
Yeah.
Second is quarterback. People thought it'd be receiver with Jackson Smith because that's been a huge rumor. It's quarterback.
Which is surprising to me. And also, how do they get these odds? You know what I mean? How do they generate these things?
Of course, that's another question. But
are they in the building?
Yeah.
What
are they hearing?
It.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I still don't know what I don't know what Titans should do. I have no clue what the Titans should do. I have not pontificated enough on it to I mean, I feel like I have. I've talked about it every which way from Sunday for sure, but I don't know if I have the definitive answer that is the right answer for the Tennessee Titans on who they should take coming up April 27th.
Mm-hmm. I think you can draw it down to three positions, right? Offensive line, receiver, or quarterback. That's my personal opinion. But there's obviously these teams that you have absolutely no idea what they're going to do. Titans, I think, are one of those teams right now where what is going on in that office, nobody knows.
Yeah.
But
I would love to see. I mean, if I picked my heart would be Njigba.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Njigba's going to be there at 11.
The trade up rumors to 3 is still insane to me.
Yeah, and that like I said, it's lost some levity now too with Daniel Jeremiah coming out and saying that there is a thought that they could do that. Well, then you're starting to say, all these roundabout ways of I made it up.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it. It wasn't true.
Clickbait season.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if Njigba's going to be there at 11 though. I could
really
see him
good.
going early.
I mean, like, he's just got insane upside. I know the injury hamstring's never good, but man, is that guy really talented.
I could see the Bears going after him.
What? They have 10, right? No.
They're 9.
They're 9, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it too. The Bears are looking real good as of right now. They could just take best overall and they'd be even better, but Jackson Smith is going to be – what receivers do they have right now?
So they got Claypool.
That's right, Claypool.
They've got
Darnell
DJ
Mooney.
Moore.
DJ Moore, that's
and
right.
Darnell Mooney. And then you get this kid coming in as a rookie. You have
probably the better receiving core in the NFL.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have all the Justin Fields has all the options now going forward.
What do you think they take offensive line? Do you think Paris Johnson goes there?
Well, see, they built their offensive line up so much. So it's is Bijan on the table for them?
Could be.
They have so many options. The Bears are really looking good
because Khalil Herbert's their guy right now, right?
Yeah, I can't remember who all they've grabbed. I know they've had some signings, but I don't remember who they are grabbing right now.
For you dynasty fantasy football players out there, Bijan Robinson is your guy.
I have the pick 102 in my
That is
league.
a blue chip running back.
I can't get him. I just know I'm not going to be able to get him. It's really unfortunate, but yeah, would like to. But yeah, I mean, you look, they got Nate Davis from the Titans. They got McGlinchey.
They did get Nate Davis. That's right.
They got Deontay Foreman. That's who the running back that they signed. I remember, and they got Travis Homer from the Seattle Seahawks. So they don't, and then they have your boy Herbert. So
the Bears are back.
It's not like it's out of the
realm of possibility.
Exactly. Like they could try to go and get someone, but I don't know. I don't know. They have a lot of options basically. That's what, they got Robert Tonyan. What a crazy signing that was too. Forgot about that one.
Cole Kmet.
Yep, they'll have Cole Kmet. Tremaine Edwards at defense. Yeah, they got some dogs. They got Dylan Cole too. Forgot Chicago took so many former Titans players. Yeah, crazy. All right, we need to run to a break. When we come back, Pete Nakos is going to be joining us. We're going to get into some NIL conversations with him. It's going to be a good one. You're not going to miss it here on the Afternoon Stretch.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right, but many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at iwantpie.com. That's iwantpie.com.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's April, and you know what that means? Taxes are almost due. Jackson Hewitt can help you win tax season. That's the sound of your maximum tax refund. The sound of getting 50% off tax prep. The sound of many of our competitors' prices going up. And the sound of getting to your nearest Jackson Hewitt. Hurry in for 50% off tax prep before this offer expires April 9th. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from TaylorMade, featuring the Stealth 2 woods and irons. The new Stealth 2 woods combine speed and forgiveness to unlock forgiveness, and the new Stealth HD irons deliver high launch with draw bias to give you the confidence to expect better shots more often. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
Sports fans, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights at 6 and hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby and Darren McFarland.
Hey, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights from 6 until 7 o'clock as we highlight high-level trainers, coaches, and players in and around Middle Tennessee. Give us a call at 615-844-5600. We live video stream all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
And hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby.
And hear me, Darren McFarland, live on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
The afternoon stretch with Zach and Bruno. I would say something snarky, but I don't want to get a phone call from Zach's dad.
The afternoon stretch. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams, no Bruno. Once again, here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Talked a little bit about this subject yesterday and earlier today in the show because it just fascinates me. I mean, NIL is such a wild west that there's so many things to talk about, and I wanted to get somebody on for the first time that we're going to talk NIL directly with. Pete Nakos. You can follow him on Twitter at Pete_Nakos96. He covers college sports business for On3 NIL on Twitter. You can find him also on On3 website, all over the place. Love the On3 folks. Had plenty of them on. Our good buddy Clint Lamb. We always love Clint Lamb. Pete, thanks so much for joining us, buddy.
Yeah, you bet, guys. Thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely. So I was reading your article, and that's how this spawned this interview. But I was reading the most recent article about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and how their valuations have completely skyrocketed for the NIL market. The first conversation that I want to pick your brain about is I want to understand the On3 NIL valuations. How is it, y'all? I know you put the dollar amounts on there, but how do you structure that? What is the meaning of the dollar amounts? Is that how much they can get paid per posting or going into a contractual agreement for NIL? How does that work?
Yeah. So we use an algorithm that comes up with the valuation from plenty of data points. And I think the one thing to really make clear is, so like the valuation is someone's total market value. It's not how much they should make on one deal or anything like that. It also doesn't account for like every deal they've signed. The valuation also is broken down by roster value and brand value. So that number that the public sees is not like what their value is solely to a brand, right? So a roster value is, in this day and age, we're seeing a lot of these NIL collectives pop up across the country. So athletes all of a sudden now have a roster value, like the X amount of money roughly a collective might pay to retain that athlete on their roster. So there's a lot of there's a lot of things that go into it, and it also is not like the one thing about the valuation to know is like it is not always. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's not always going to be like right on the money, right? But it's really trying to give a rough estimate of an athlete's market value.
So it could be higher. So like in this case with Caitlin Clark, you said over their weekend that they had with those matchups and all the storylines that came out, it increased $547 to $739,000. But those deals that she has with Buick and Nike and Hy-Vee and different companies they have, doesn't mean they directly make that much money. They could make more, they could make less.
Exactly. And we're not trying to say it's the law of the land, right? But at the same time, for a lot of these athletes, right, like they're going on these NIL marketplaces and things like that, and nobody's really telling them like, okay, like this is my worth, this is my value. And the last thing you ever want an athlete to do is walk into a conversation and ask for too much money. But you also don't want them to be undervalued. And I think the really cool thing that On3's done, and I don't oversee the valuation, but I'm always happy to talk about it. But the really cool thing that On3's done is we've created the On3 Athlete Network. So that's where an athlete can go on and log into their profile, and they're the only people who can have access to this, but they get to see the breakdown of their roster value and brand value to make it very clear of like the two separate numbers.
That's really interesting. So the situation that we saw with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, which I have a feeling even now, more stories are coming out with earlier today that Angel Reese came out and said that, she doesn't want to go to the White House. She'd rather just go to the Obamas. All these little stories, they're just skyrocketing in value. And more importantly, the value is based off of attention that they're receiving. Do you think this is going to be a commonality that we're going to see with college athletics, that they're going to notice, okay, these people are getting the attention. We need to find more ways to get that attention, and not so much say that it's going to be fabricated, but it is definitely going to be on the lookout for players trying to find their niche in the market?
I think that the one thing that we've seen over the last 21 months is the really smart athletes have done a great job of making sure that their social media is branded towards their specific community, right? So like, let's say Caleb Williams, for an example, at USC. Caleb has done a fantastic job of marketing himself as an athlete, but also as a he has his own taste in fashion, and he wants to be able for people who follow him to know that like Caleb is a fashion icon, right? Like the guy went on spring break like last month in Miami and was asked to walk in a fashion show. And he has a deal he wore Gucci and Adidas suit at the Heisman ceremony. So I think we're going to continue to see athletes really create and make their own brands, right? And for Caitlin Clark, just for another example, like she's from Iowa. I think Caitlin has done a very good job of marketing herself as a star in her state, right? She has a really she has a multi-year deal with the gas station Hy-Vee, and like if you go on that company's Instagram page, like I think like every other post is Caitlin Clark, and that's like a really profitable deal for her, and it does a fantastic job of marketing herself to the state of Iowa.
Pete, I've said this for a long time, since the NIL sphere has really started and taken off, because it was thrown. I mean, it was just thrown into the air for a lot of different reasons. With the Supreme Court starting to look into the NCAA and realizing that, hey, this is kind of a crazy process that's going on here. And they were just like, you know what, NIL, make as much money as you want. They've opened the bottle and they've squirted all the toothpaste, and you can't put the toothpaste back in the bottle now. There's no going back to any kind of real legislation that could moderate this or any. I mean, this feels like the wild, wild west where kids can truly make as much money as they want.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your point. I also would say though that there's not as much money being dumped into it as we might think, right? Like I think like you look at like collectives and the transfer portal, a lot of athletes are lying about how much they're being offered from other schools. And then when it comes to the brand deals, like take like Vanderbilt, for example, right? Like some athletes are doing really well at Vanderbilt, but like I would say your common athlete, like maybe a second or third guy on the depth chart on the offensive line at Vanderbilt is not like making like six figures. Same thing for like maybe a swimmer or a baseball player. Like baseball might be a bad example, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Not everybody is making like seven figures or six figures. I think we're seeing a lot of the maybe 4 or 5 figure deals that are just putting some more cash in some of these athletes' pockets.
Well, it's interesting too, because it doesn't really come back to just skill. Because I think when all this started, everybody thought it was going to be just skill positions and the top names and all that. And really it reflects more, like you were saying earlier, the social media following. Looking at y'all's NIL top 100, Bronny James is number one. Well, he has the namesake that is going to bring him so much, but he's not the best basketball player out there by far. And then number 3 is a gymnast from LSU that is very TikTok famous, but you would never expect her to be a top earner in the industry.
Right. I think that goes back to the idea of brand value, right? So the athletes right now that have the most value to these companies are truly social media influencers. So you have your Livy Dunn, you have the Cavender twins, and they do fantastic things. Let me make clear, like the Cavender twins, like just helped take Miami to the Elite Eight. Like, but you're right. The athletes who have massive social media followings, who are basically influencers, are the ones who are really getting the top brand deals.
Do you think that's going to play an effect of how schools go with recruiting going forward? I mean, obviously what they're doing.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, this has to change something, because you can get suckered in real quick to not having maybe the best athlete, but somebody that's bringing in a lot of money, that could be something a school finds attractive.
Yeah, but I would say also too, the thing that the smart schools are doing right now are when a recruit comes in, they say, okay, you want to go play at Alabama, you want to play at Tennessee, you want to play at Ohio State. Like those are massive brands. Like let's make it very clear, right? So if a school is like going back and forth between like maybe a Missouri and like, I don't know, like a Georgia is going to politely tell the kid like, hey, we have a very rich tradition here. And this is the Georgia logo. That might be one of like the top 10 recognizable logos in like all of sport. Right. So like, how about you come here and there's going to be quite the marketing opportunity for you.
It's so surreal too, to think that this is the possibility of where it's at. And I feel like too, it's barely scratched the surface. The money, like you were saying earlier, maybe the money hasn't been as lavish that's been dumped into this, but it has been large amounts of money. Something that I've had on the back of my mind is ever since this came up, you're having, especially now, if we're talking about the Caitlin Clark situation, Angel Reese, going to pro seems like a bad business move in some situations. Are you seeing the pros side fill in any kind of needs of the NIL, or can they continue their NIL even with the pro team, or does that have to go then to the pro team? Because if you look at the Caitlin Clark situation, the salary for being, a WNBA player comes nowhere near what she's going to be making right now in college.
Yeah. So I think the best way to look at this lens is, right, so like Caitlin Clark for the WNBA, she still has to come back for another year from my understanding. But if she goes back for a second year, it will not shock me because she'll make more endorsement money than she would as a salary WNBA player. Same thing, like you look at through the college football lens, right? Like Sam Hartman probably would have been a third or fourth round pick. He's going to come back and probably make more money in endorsement deals than his initial NFL contract would look like. Same thing with maybe a Blake Corum who got injured and may have seen his stock fall, and now he's going to come back and try to do better by that. Here's a quick fact though for you guys. So when the deadline to declare early for this 2023 NFL draft came about in mid-January, 82 players submitted their names. That's 18% fewer than the 100 athletes who did so in 2022.
It really does beg the question, because I think what's going to happen, this is just now, I'm putting on a tinfoil cap here, Pete, but it does, the schools are going to want to get involved with the money that's being made with some of these kids. Like the next Tim Tebow, the next Trevor Lawrence, whoever that is, and maybe it is Caitlin Clark, but that next college athlete is going to be there, and they're going to be making buku bucks off of their NIL, and teams are going to want to get involved with making the money. And when that happens, you're going to have teams saying, why are we giving up players to the NFL and losing out on money on potential opportunities with this player? And then the only team, the only organization that could ever really compete with the NFL for attention is the only other sport that owns a day of the week as well, like they do Sunday. College football owns Saturday. So you start to have the amateur turn into the pros, because, I mean, they're getting paid to play football right now. They are pros. So I could see a day coming where we're going to see those two kind of collide at some point, unless there's a middle ground on how this NIL works, because there's just so much money to be made for all parties involved.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think the one other thing that we're going to start seeing a lot more is schools can greatly benefit from this. And what I'm saying is, like, they're starting to see some of the really smart NIL campaigns come about. And when I say smart, it's when the athlete is wearing their school uniform and showing off the school marks and the IP of, like, going big picture here, but like Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd signed with Bose and did a series of TikTok videos this past winter. And Bose and UConn struck an IP deal. So like all of the footage was shot in the UConn facility, and they're wearing like their jerseys and stuff. And the one thing that really makes it important for like a brand like Bose is, like, do you pick Paige Beckers off the street if she's not wearing the UConn jersey, right? So that's them and their element, and it really drives home the point of like who this athlete is. And at the same time, UConn is just getting like free marketing.
Yeah, that it's so interesting. There's so many different levels to this. I mean, the onion that is NIL. There's so many levels, and like I said, I think we still have not scratched the surface of really getting deeper into this, because it is just marketing, and as marketing goes, that evolves and grows every single day of how to get brand names to consumers by using their favorite athletes that they follow, or school traditions, or whatever it is they're going to be doing. If you want to follow more, follow Pete on Twitter at Pete_Nakos96. We're going to have him on a whole lot more to talk about these different things, because it seems like every single day there is just more and more NIL news as it grows and grows. One last thing, Pete, before we get you out of here, I saw, talking about Vanderbilt and here in the Nashville area, obviously, I saw Clark Lee go on, I believe it was Feinbaum, and he led off the conversation talking about NIL, that, NIL kind of takes a back seat because he's wanting the team to be team first and not NIL first, not making money first, putting the team ahead of themselves. Do you feel like that's a bad marketing strategy about getting students in, or what are your thoughts on that from the coaches coming out and saying something like that?
I think that not every locker room, but there's definitely some locker rooms right now where athletes know, like, let me rewind. Every athlete in a college football locker room right now at a Power 5 institution definitely knows, like, what their teammate next to them is making them an NIL. Like, I'm sure that is a conversation that is talked about. The really good cultures that have strong chemistry, I don't really think NIL matters. I've been told a few times that, like, athletes actually enjoy helping each other out and finding a new deal. And then I'm sure that there's the locker rooms that maybe are having a bad season and your quarterback's making like 6 figures and you're making 5 figures and it's just not clicking, right? Like, maybe that is becoming a reason why there's some animosity in the locker room. And I think what Clark Lee's saying is basically like, I do not want to build a program that is built on NIL, right? And because if things go bad on the field, off the field, things could get ugly theoretically because of NIL. We haven't seen a lot of that, but I could see what Clark's saying. I could definitely see the thought process that he had when he made that statement.
Pete, thank you so much for jumping on with us, buddy.
Yep, you bet. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Good stuff there from Pete Nakos. Once again, follow him on Twitter at Pete_Nakos96 with On3. Covers all things NIL for them over there. There's so much to talk about with it. There really is. And it matters. It matters so much to get so deep into it. It's, I mean, especially like I was saying with the Livy Dunn situation. You know, she's a gymnast from LSU. You know, there was a lot of people that wouldn't have thought that, you know, and a gymnast would have been making that kind of money, but her social media following is so large that she can basically get a blank check from so many different businesses just to do a TikTok.
Imagine if Eddie George had NIL. Or like Reggie Bush.
Tim Tebow.
I
mean, Tim Tebow would have cleaned house. Tim Tebow would have set records. I mean, he still has the records for most sold jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's what people are still buying Tim Tebow jerseys right now. They're buying Tim Tebow Florida jerseys.
It's fun to think about.
Yeah. 615-844-5600. If you want to jump in, we want to talk to you on the other side. Final segment here on the afternoon stretch.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card, remodeling your kitchen, exploring the rainforests of Costa Rica? Whatever your dreams, they take some planning. And State Farm agent Austin Hardy is right here in the Middle Tennessee community to lend a hand. As your local good neighbor, he can help you look at the things you want to save for and come up with a plan to make those saving goals happen. Because your money should work just as hard as you to achieve your dream. So whether it's being free of debt or free to roam the world, call State Farm agent Austin Hardy here in the Middle Tennessee community. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too. The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Call now, 615-844-5600 with any criticism of the afternoon stretch. Don't worry, they're not smart enough to understand.
Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to be out there live at Play It Again Sports Brentwood location, 1701 Mallory Lane, giving away some fun prizes, cash as well. I guess gift card, not so much cash, but a gift card for Play It Again Sports. It's free. It's free to you. You have a chance to win. All you got to do is just show up, and you don't have to stay. That's the big thing. I know some people that get like iffy about doing that because they have to stay, or you don't have to stay to win. You just show up, sign up, and you can leave, and then you'll get contacted if you won. That's the best. That's the absolute best. So you can get on those the gift card as well as the disc golf backpack. Both prizes up for you to win. All you got to do, go to Play It Again Sports, Brentwood, 1701 Mallory Lane in Brentwood, 4 to 6 p.m. That's where we'll be. And just look for us. I don't know if we'll be inside or outside. I think it's going to be a nice day tomorrow. I believe it's going to, now that the storms come through today. It's going to be a little chilly, though.
A little 60s.
That's fine, though, right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
If it's not too windy, a little sun on the face, I like a 60s. We're going to get to a today in sports history, but I saw this story. We've talked about this before. Are you like a sports memorabilia guy?
Not really.
Not really?
Mm-mm. Like playing cards.
I mean,
bobbleheads.
Like, what would you buy? Like, it would be Ohio State driven, I assume. Like, if a chair, like maybe they redo the seats and you could buy a seat. Like, would you buy that?
No.
No?
Maybe a tuft of grass, but that's about it.
Really, some grass?
Yeah. That was the thing when Ohio State switched to turf.
Mm-hmm.
Was you can get a piece of the grass.
Like a brick or something like that from the stadium.
Yeah.
You're not into that kind of stuff?
I'd be into it. I'm just not willing to buy it. I don't.
Well, Babe Ruth, he had a bat that sold. It was corroborated with a photograph. So this was a bat that they proved that this was Babe Ruth's bat with a photo.
Yeah.
How much do you think it went for?
$1.2 million.
Not far off, but off. $1.85 million to buy an old Louisville Slugger that the great Bambino held.
Man, just for him to get struck out 1,000,000 times today.
1,000,000 times. He would not. Babe Ruth, you wouldn't even know. You would say, what a stupid name Babe Ruth is if he played today. He would not be this, destroyer of worlds that we look at him. I wonder how long it'll be until, because at some point, I don't know if Babe Ruth's going to fall away, but there hasn't been much of a, you go back like my childhood and others, you go like Sandlot and stuff, and they got the Bambino name out there again and had that idea and kind of brought that mythos back. If you're a Yankees fan, you care about him, but whatever day is going to happen where people kind of start to forget about those era of baseball players.
I think he's going to fall out of pop culture as most of them do, but I mean, I think the pioneers of the sport are going to be around forever.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth especially. Just an iconic name. And, if you think baseball, the idea of Babe Ruth is always there.
This guy who bought the bat, he bought it in 2018. He's a collector, Justin Cornett. He purchased the bat at an auction without the photo for $400,000. Sold it now for 1.8.
$1.8 million shout out. Congrats, man.
Just to find that photo, man. He was
That's insane.
Just give me the photo so I could sell this thing immediately. It's a stupid bat.
Unreal.
I wasn't even sure if it was his when I first bought it. Got so lucky. All right. Let's take a look at today in sports history.
Today in sports history.
Never-ending journey to learn every single day. Sometimes we skip some days. It just happens. Majority of them have been skipped. 1904. We're going back to the very first day. Sports did not happen on April 5th until 1904. The first international rugby league match is played between England and other nationalities teams, Welsh and Scottish players, in Central Park, England. There you go.
I would have killed to be there, man.
Would you have? I mean, that would have been a
groundbreaking stuff.
You like rugby?
I'm a friend of mine plays it for UK, but I don't follow it.
There was a Nuga rugby club when I was in Chattanooga, and my roommate's brother-in-law was like the president of it, and he had convinced us. He was like, "Come on out, see what it is." I honestly didn't know anything about rugby. I was like, "It's something like football." I don't know.
Looks incredibly difficult and wildly physical.
Got out there, got like a practice jersey on, and started watching what was happening. Out. I was out immediately.
I'm out.
Get me out of here.
I'm going to get food, man. Screw this.
I kept the shirt, though, because I was like,
Pretty cool shirt.
Yeah, Nuga rugby.
Yeah.
But I did not play Nuga rugby.
No shot.
I saw one scrum, and I was like, this is a nightmare. You mean you're just slamming into each other?
Constantly.
No pads?
Nothing.
Nothing. Like, this is mainlining CTE. You know what I mean? Like
baby carrying, like, this ball who's oversized. I don't know. It's not my thing.
And I didn't understand the scoring at all. Yeah, it wasn't for me. 1925, the Yankees beat the Dodgers in an exhibition 16-9. But interesting about this game, Babe Ruth collapses in this game due to an ulcer.
Wow.
It ties in.
Sure
a lot of Babe Ruth news on this day. Also, 1934, baseball superstar Babe Ruth agrees to do 3 15-minute broadcasts a week over NBC for a fee of $39,000 for 13 weeks, $4,000 more than his Yankees playing contract.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that is worth today. That much money.
I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of money back then, right?
100 years later.
1934. Like, let's not forget that's right after the Great Depression. That's right after the stock market plunged, basically. And he's getting paid to do 3 15-minute broadcasts a week on NBC for $39,000.
That'd be roughly $800,000 today.
Still really low.
Yeah.
If you think about it, what's Tom Brady? You would say Babe Ruth is like Tom Brady now, right? Yeah. Like Tom Brady's getting paid what, $256 million to go to NBC? Or no, is it Fox?
I think it's Fox.
Fox, yeah. So that actually is kind of wildly low. That's interesting. I didn't think about that one. Let's see here. 1967, 76ers, Wilt Chamberlain sets an NBA record of 41 rebounds. That is so many rebounds.
That's a lot. Yeah.
In one game.
That's like just cherry picking the defensive side.
1973, the NFL adopts jersey numbering system, i.e. QBs are 1 through 19.
Oh, okay.
And then they go on. And
before, was it just like a wild, wild west?
It must have been, yeah. But now, look at this. Now we're back. It's been, 50 years later?
Mm-hmm.
Not much else that happened in the world of sports past those years.
April.
Yeah, April wasn't big. 2021, that's the most recent. 82nd NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Do we know who was the 2001 champion? 2021?
2021?
Mm-hmm.
Villanova, maybe? Virginia?
Be the Baylor Bears defeating Gonzaga Bulldogs. 86-70, another game that was boring.
Yeah.
All right, we're done for the day. Appreciate that called in, commented, watching, however you did. Remember, if nobody's told you, I love you and you matter. We will be back tomorrow, but live at Brentwood Play It Again Sports. Come on out and see us. Just come say hi. That's all I want you to do. 4 to 6 p.m., 1701 Mallory Lane. Grizzlies basketball, 6:30 coming up.